Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Darksiders with me, the Doctor. Last episode, we spoke with the demon Vulgrim, who gave us the ability to open ancient gates and told us to find the demon Samael. Samael was once close in power to the Destroyer himself, who is currently the leader of leader of Hell's forces since, you know, the whole apocalypse thing. And we're here to kind of clear our name, because the Destroyer has clearly implicated us. We've been accused of aiding the Destroyer in starting the apocalypse early, and that's definitely not what we remember happening. So we need to speak with this Samael bloke. But in the meantime, there is a fire golem between us and the Destroyer, which is less than good. So let's take him out. Last episode, if you remember as well, we brought an attack combo, which was Meteor Strike, which allows us to dash in midair. So once we're in midair, we can just press a direction and dash in it, which can be quite handy because, you know me, I love mobility when it comes to Darksiders combat. I think we've got him. There we go, wonderful. He explodes. And we now have a blue chest that we can grab here. I mean, we could have grabbed this at any time, but I'm going to grab it now. There's an underwater section here, and if you look at the map, you'll notice that this section continues on a little bit. So, let's follow it downwards. B is go down, not A. Well done, Doctor. Very smart you are. If we go through here, you'll notice our Horde Seeker has now stopped working. We're only given it temporarily. If we hop, as another thing that revealed chest on the map, here is a cool looking chest. It's green but with black shit around it. And here we have a Lifestone Shard, new element of the visualizer. Please, future Doctor. 4 Lifestone Shards create a Lifestone, so the equivalent of a heart container in a Zelda game. You'll find Lifestone Shards around a lot of the place. There are 23 Lifestone Shards. No, can't be 23, because then that wouldn't make a multiple of 4, so it's either 20 or 24. And whenever you, at very significant points in the game, you get also entire Lifestones, which just are a whole 1-in-1, rather than, oopsie daisy, rather than needing to gather like 4 shards. Those will be obvious when they become obvious. I'm quickly going to fight this golem. I was surprisingly quick, actually. And when done, there is some... oh, zombies here. Let's crush them to just get the final few top-ups to my health. As you can see, they really aren't a threat at all. They're actually, if anything, a decent source of healing. We can climb the growth there, obviously. Oh, I haven't shown off, by the way. The Earthcaller Horn in combat does send enemies flying backwards. Light enemies, like, for example, these little bastards. There's a green chest here if you need healing at all. You should pretty much always use green chests when you need them. As in when you see them, rather than saving them for anything, because you're not... there's not a lot of backtracking in this game, so it's not like I might be here and damaged in the future. That's not really going to happen much. Anyway, introducing the Scalding Gallow. So now we get a bit more of a view of the Black Throne there, the seat of the Destroyer's power. And this is a kind of central area that we'll be coming back to a fair bit. Ah, these little fuckers. We haven't seen them much since the opening tutorial, I guess. You know, tutorial, apocalypse, same thing. Once we've killed the pair of these guys... the ending blows do look very cool. There's a couple of things we can grab here. If we come up these stairs here, there is a blue chest waiting for us. Always grab blue chests whenever you can. Souls are handy. Souls are used exclusively, like, Vulgrim is the only usage for blue souls to buy new shit from Vulgrim, but so totally worth it. Getting more stuff from Vulgrim early in the game is fantastic. Another thing we can do here... oh, there's more minions to fight. I want to grab this car because I want to use it for something, so I'm trying to avoid doing damage to the vehicle. The Earthcaller is... oh, bugger, I don't want to... oh, shit, no... oh. Well, hopefully there's another car around. The Earthcaller is fun to use in... oop. Ah, Chaos Eater's leveled up. Wonderful. So that means it just does more damage, which is great. Let's finish off this guy, and hopefully there's another car around, because I very much need one for what I was going to do there. It's not looking great on the... oh, there's 2 over there. Wonderful. Let's grab one. And if we go into kind of aiming mode, we will notice up there, there is a red crystal with some kind of orb thing attached to it. That thing, when you hit it, is explosive. Oh, good one. Hey, there we go. That did work, actually. I really thought I failed. So, that knocks this pillar down, which allows us access to a very cool-looking chest. There's 10 of these chests in the game, and each one contains something cool. A piece of abyssal armor. Visualizer element, please, Doctor. There's quite a few of those as you're seeing. Obviously, the entire thing you're seeing now will eventually be full with elements. I think that's most of them now, actually. There's only a couple which are actually missing from it. But that's one of 10 pieces of Bloodforged Abyssal Armor. Collect all 10 pieces to complete the set, which unlocks the Abyssal Armor. They're fairly well distributed throughout the game. You pretty much won't get all 10 until quite near the end of the game. But no harm in gathering them while we're here. Anyway, there's a very spooky altar-looking thing. I need to stop using the word spooky. There's a lot of spooky shit in this game. There's a reason why I'm starting this game in October. Actually, two reasons why I'm starting this game in October. One is because it's the spooky month, and there's a lot of scully demony stuff here, so...
Non straga sindora.
Do you know what's imprisoned here? There are things even you should fear, Horseman. Once you were strong, but now you are weak and you are alone. The Destroyer knows of your coming. Even now, he moves his legions against you.
Then I'll make this quick.
So, time for a mini-boss, the Phantom General. He's quite a good fighter and has a couple of shitey abilities as well. As you can see there, he does an ability where he slams the ground. He has a kind of like spin attack, so just hop in, do a couple of damage, and then fire back. Here, he summons enemies, and here's a good chance to use Blade Geyser. Blade Geyser, your Wrath Power, will take out all of his little compatriots pretty much in one, and will deal a decent amount of damage to him as well. Oopsie. Did he just kill his own friend? No, he didn't. I'll finish him off, thank you. And let's focus a bit more on the General himself. Oh, he's summoned more. Well, we'll fight at him and wait until they get a bit closer to us. When they do, Blade Geyser, and repeat as such. I think it's every time you deal like a third of his damage to him, he'll summon his bitches, so that means he's got to be nearly done at this point. Oopsie! Oh, he's doing Whirlwind Spin, where he does a couple of spins in a row, but we managed to dodge away from it, so we're all good. Ow, that hurt. His hits, when they actually land, do a lot of damage, so you've really got to just stay away from him, which I'm doing quite well here, actually. There we go! I thought he was going to say something, but he's not.
Just one hideous blood-puking gargoyle. The plumbing must be stopped up.
That camera angle was not subtle in telling us what we need to do. Killing the Phantom General starts one of these running, and we've got to get the other two running ourselves. Has anyone seen Hellboy? This strongly reminds me of that. There's a scene there where someone's killed, and his blood kind of goes into a kind of labyrinth seal kind of thing, very much like this that opens it up. I think that's a relatively well kind of used occult trope, the whole kind of like blood filling in like a seal like that. Anyway, when we pull the third and final gargoyle into position,
War. Are you here to play executioner? They should have sent all four of you.
I have no interest in killing you, Samael.
The Destroyer. He's beyond your reach, beyond mine.
Has prison made you a coward?
Perhaps there is a way, but you will need to get inside the Destroyer's spire. The tower is guarded by four of his chosen. Bring me their hearts, and ask me no questions. My reasons for helping you are my own.
Where can I find these guardians?
First, seek the Twilight Cathedral, where the Bat Queen Tiamat has gone to roost. The whole of her domain is a blistered inferno. By land, you will never reach it. Find the high ground with this, and bring me her still beating heart.
There's a lot of things I like about this game, but its way of telling you to do the plot is not subtle. Anyway, we have been given an ability, or a power, as I call them, Shadow Flight. These supernatural wings enable War to temporarily glide. After a double jump, hold A to activate Shadow Flight and glide. Glide inside shadow currents to soar high into the air. And we have a general bit of focus, which is to track down the 4 of the Destroyer's Chosen and bring their hearts back to Samael. In like a minute-long cutscene. Yeah, in like a minute... Oh, there we go. In like a minute-long cutscene. I tried to say that like 3 times. It tells us to do that, and it's like, well, that's our focus now for a huge portion of the game. Which is slightly weird. Well, I guess it's because... Right, one of my big issues with this game is War himself. War has, like, no personality or character, so someone just says, I'll help you do this. He's just like, yes, I will do this. Which is, he's not, let's say, a particularly charismatic character. But it's no bad thing to have a game that has that kind of focus. Anyway, there's enemies down there, but I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to go over here. Who recognizes that symbol kind of there? Well, there's another one here. And indeed, if we go to the right here, we find a Vulgrim location. So this is the Scalding Gallows Vulgrim location. And I will explain...
Samael has returned you in one piece. He must like you.
I will, when relevant, which is still a good 5 episodes from now, explain what the relevance of the different Vulgrim points are, but for now, this one functions as a shop, like all of them do, so you can just buy stuff. There's nothing new for us to buy, particularly here. This is an interesting chest, though. This gives us a Wrath Shard, which is another piece of the visualizer. Perhaps the last piece? What's in there at the moment? So, powers, which is unlocked. Enhancements. Blood-forged Abyssal Armor. Vulgrim locations. Wrath Shards, Lifestone Shards, Artifacts. I think we've unlocked... I have unlocked, revealed, every part of the visualizer. I missed one bit out when I'm speaking there. I can't remember which one it was, which is mildly annoying. Weapons and gear, that's the other one. So yes, every part of the visualizer is now there. Wrath Shards function very much like Lifestone Shards. Grab 4 of them and you will unlock a new Wrath Core. We currently have, as you can see on the top left there, 2 Wrath Cores, and you can get a lot in total. And they're great because Wrath Powers are very nice. We only have the one Wrath Power now. For now, we only have the one, which is Blade Geezer. Oh, I haven't actually talked about it a moment there. If I were to press Y now, I would use my, what do they call it, Life Essence, which would heal me briefly. You can buy those from Vulgrim as long as you've got an empty vessel to put them in. That is, as long as you've got an empty bottle to put a health potion in. That's exactly how they function. Anyway, if we look, well, this is Samael's prison, and it's fairly evil looking. If we look down there, though, there is a path down, like a platform down there, and we can get down there if we jump. Oh, bugger, I just walked off the end. Fucking idiot. If we jump again, and then hold A, this is the Shadow Flight ability that Samael just gave us, and we can use it to glide to this platform. It has another second use there, which involves that thing. But for now, if we follow this round... Oh, look, it's another one of those special chests. Which gets us our second piece of blood-forged Abyssal Armor. Wonderful. This is a Shadow Current. If we glide into it with Shadow Flight, so holding A, flies you up in the air. It's very Deku Leaf style. It's wonderful. Oh dear. And that's how you use Shadow Flight to get around. It's very nice. And it just means also your jump is being extended. So you just go A, double jump, and then hold A, and you'll do a brief Shadow Flight. And it does look very cool with the shadowy wings as well. So, now we can kind of advance along here, because now we can use these Shadow Currents that we couldn't use before. Wonderful. Now, there's a few enemies here, but oh dear, we have also leveled up Chaos Eater recently, so hopefully these should be a lot quicker to take out. I shall do so off camera. You don't want to just see me fighting the same enemies over and over again. Wonderful. With that done, we can head into this corridor that's full of spiky looking red shit. Obviously don't touch that, it will hurt you. That's true for pretty much most things in the game. Press and hold LB to display the HUD. Thanks. Wow, that's the, like, using Wrath and Consumables thing. At any point, if you want to see your health and Wrath levels at the moment, just press LB and that thing in the top left will appear if it's not already there. Down here, there is a blue chest in the lava. Relatively hard to miss that one, but you know it's always possible. Oh, and a couple of minions have appeared. Wonderful. So, we have the goal at the moment, I didn't really talk about it, of finding the Twilight Cathedral where the Bat Queen Tiamat lies, who's the first of the destroyers chosen. Probably the most significant way in which this game is like a Zelda game is in that it has dungeons. It has dungeons which have a map, a compass, an item specific to that dungeon which helps you explore that dungeon, a boss of the dungeon which gives you an item at the end of it, gives you like a heart container at the end of it, and then when you get out you can use the dungeon item to explore the world more. This game has exactly the same as that, except they call it the Horde Seeker, and they don't call it a heart container, they call it a life stone, and stuff like that. But it functionally is exactly the same thing, and the Twilight Cathedral is our first dungeon, and the Bat Queen Tiamat will provide us with our first boss. And I must say, so when I have an odd relationship with this game. Someone recommended it to me as basically like, it's like adult Zelda. I was like, okay, cool, I'll give it a swing. Swing, spin. As you can see, though, the game is the beginning of the game is a bit kind of like oddly disjointed. Welcome to the Choking Grounds. So this is a spooky old graveyard, of course. And there's a lot of things here. There's these little bat creatures, which you... So, let's talk about aerial combat at this point, actually. So, you can jump, and if you use X in midair, you kind of just continue to use attacks in the air as much as you want. You can also hold X, and you'll fly up into the air like that. Those enemies can also be killed with a kind of B action in the same way as that zombies can, but I killed both of them, so I guess I'll have to show that off later. There's also a Vulgrim location here. And let's talk to Vulgrim, and because I actually want to buy something off him, I'm going to buy a new weapon from Vulgrim. There's two weapons. There's the Scythe and the Harvester. Can't afford the Harvester yet, but the Scythe is a massive curved blade that performs large sweeping attacks that devastate multiple enemies. Buy that for 1,000 souls. Cross it off the visualizer. So now in this weapon section we can now buy combos for the Scythe as well, in the same way that we can buy combos for Chaos Eater. Can't afford any of them for now because I've just spent everything on the Scythe. So, if we go into the weapon forge here, you can now see the Scythe is equipped as our secondary weapon. Secondary weapons are used with Y, so you can see in the top right, there it is. So, if we were to use like X, we attack with the sword. If we use Y, we attack with the Scythe. And you can switch between them mid-combo, so you can go like 1, 2, Scythe. Or like Scythe, Scythe, Sword. But, the Scythe isn't hugely useful except for one thing. If you hold Y, you do a spinning attack around you. If you hold Y and RB, haven't got that power yet, so ignore that. But that circular attack there is so useful to be able to just do a quick clear everything around me. It's wonderful and really worth buying the Scythe for at this stage. I won't use it in combat much because it's not as powerful or as useful really as Chaos Eater, the sword, but it's nice for just that kind of, if you start to get surrounded, just go whoom. Any enemies that are hit by that will be sent flying backwards and you just clear a huge radius around you and just give yourself some space. It's wonderful. Anyway, well, I was in the middle of saying something, but I'm going to go over here quickly and trigger a cutscene. Or not. Introducing a new enemy, Skeleton Warriors, and they're bloody everywhere in this place, so get used to them. No, the beginning of this game is slightly kind of, I don't want to go as far as to call it unfocused, but it's very much kind of like, you have the tutorial apocalypse, and then you kind of have more of the tutorial while you're looking for Vulgrim, and then it's quickly like, go here, do this, and it feels like you're on a bit of a wild goose chase for a lot of the early game. But then you get to, and we'll be doing it next episode? Or the episode after, 2 episodes from now probably. We'll get to the first dungeon, the Twilight Cathedral, and then that's when, for me, this game really picks off, and that's the point where I really was like, actually, not only is this game a Zelda game, it's also really good. If you use the B action on these guys, as you can see, you kill them in one action, and then hop down from them, which is quite nice. Let's kill this soldier. Actually, there's nothing right there. This is what I was saying, by the way. That circular attack around you, you can see, knocks back anyone who's near you. Next episode, we'll be using that a lot because of what I plan to do next episode, but for now, what we actually need to do, so that yellow thing you'll notice on the map is our objective. We need to head towards there. And you will notice I'm going in the opposite direction for that, because I have business over here. My business is with Isengard tonight, with rock and stone. Oh, I do love Lord of the Rings. And I do quote Treebeard quite a lot. I'm amazed I actually didn't say the other Treebeard quote there, which I always use, which is, I always like going south. Somehow it feels like going downhill, especially because I am heading south at the moment. God, that is an annoying rant of the day. So, at the moment I'm, as part of my job as an academic, I'm supervising a couple of undergraduates who are doing their kind of final year dissertation projects with me. And one of them's never seen Lord of the Rings. Or, more importantly, he's seen Lord of the Rings, all of the films, and every single one he fell asleep through. And I was like, why haven't you seen it? It's great. He's like, I know they're great, but he just apparently does not have the ability to stay awake during films. He watched all three of them in the cinema, and he said the cinema is just, and I know a number of people who actually share this viewpoint, he just said the cinema is the perfect environment to make him sleep, because it's just like, it's dark, and there's a little bit of noise in the background, and he just says, like, every time he just tried to watch all three of them, and he just fell asleep within half an hour and woke up at the end. He's promised me he's going to, over this weekend, watch Lord of the Rings. Well, not this weekend for you, because this isn't going to air for a while yet, because it's only the beginning of October, well, middle of October at the moment, so hopefully he'll have already watched it by now. Anyway, my complete rants aside about people having not watched Lord of the Rings, there's a chest here, which is a nice blue soul chest, which gives us 200 blue souls, which is wonderful, but that's actually not what I came here for. What I came for here is, there's these tombs here. You'll notice this one in the middle, you can grab onto with B. And if we pull it open, there is, I thought it did a do-do-do-do-doom reveal there, but it doesn't. There's a little downstairs tomb area, which contains a fair few enemies and a soldier artifact. So, with that done, let's fight these guys. That's why it's totally worth buying the scythe. I'll use the scythe in combat against these guys. You'll notice as well, the other weapon that Vulgrim offers for now is the Harvester, which is exactly the same as the Scythe, but more powerful, and crucially, so, this is just the Scythe. The Harvester is the Scythe which belongs to War's brother, Death, the other Horseman, one of the other 4 Horsemen. Death's Scythe, the Harvester, has the nice ability that enemies killed with it yield twice as many souls as they normally do, which makes very much sense given, you know, Death's Scythe. But this isn't Death's Scythe, this is just a regular scythe. I believe that Death's Scythe, the Harvester, was only in like certain versions of the original Darksiders, like you had to pre-order it, but in Warmastered edition you can always just buy it from the start. One final thing to do before I end the episode, gravestones. Smash them, and you'll get some souls out of them, but also, I'm going to put on the speeder, and there's something you get if you destroy literally every gravestone in this area. You'll piss off a fair few skeletons and warriors while doing so. So, speeder please. And indeed, when you destroy every single gravestone in this area, something unlocks over there. And this is one of the more well-hidden ones in the game that you wouldn't necessarily just come across naturally. You can tell it's a green chest, but it's got black spook around it, which means it contains a lifestone shard, which is wonderful. So now we're halfway, so that heals us fully, which is great anyway, and we're halfway to a new lifestone, which is wonderful. And we'll hold it there for now. So we've discovered... We partly freed Samael from his prison. He still can't leave his prison, but at least he's out and about and talking. And he told us to seek out the Destroyer's Chosen and bring our still beating hearts back to him. So, over there, you will notice right in the distance is our target, the Twilight Cathedral. Next episode, we'll be heading further towards that same place. Thank you very much, and good day.